Okay, so if any healthy person comes in contact with these viruses, they would be getting affected. So they are affected very much, and they would also acquire the same disease. Now next one is waterborne infection. So these are also one of the mode of transmission. So in this case, viruses and bacteria, they are transferred through water, especially some drinking water. So your drinking water sources, if they are not proper, if they are contaminated, and if they have if they usually come in contact with um, some of the problems, some of the crises, like if they are not covered properly, so viruses present in that and the atmosphere, they can also be transferred through your drinking water. Usually it is caused by washing. uh, if any water is contaminated, and with the same water you are washing your vegetables and all, so that's how this bacteria and viruses will be transmitted. Next one, disease spread by insects and animals. Now diseases are also being spread by some insects and animals. Usually the very example would be malaria and dengue. So the carrier of malaria and dengue viruses are your mosquitoes. So they carry this virus in their body, and whenever they come in contact with human beings, those viruses are being released in the human body. So that's how it is transferred. And through animals, like some of the dog, like not some, usually all the dogs, they are carrier of rabies. So once they bite you, those viruses enter your body, and you might be having some disease known as rabies, which might be very fatal. So for this reason, there is special injection given to the animals itself. And that's how we need to protect ourselves. And not only these dogs, there are also other animals like rats and all, which are the carrier of disease called plague. So many years ago, many European countries, they were affected by plague because of these rats. So that's so this is how insects and animal, they transfer the viruses in our body. Now there is uh, now the carrier of malaria virus. It is a female Anopheles mosquito. So usually they are active at night time, but the carrier of dengue is Aedes mosquito. So they are carrier during the daytime. So different animals have different strategies of spreading viruses. Then food poisoning. Now the cause of food poisoning is also this microorganism. So organisms are present everywhere in the air. So whenever we are cooking food, those foods are also at some point being affected by this microorganism, and because of that, what will happen, the food will get spoiled. And not only that, if we take those food, we ourselves are also be getting we are also being affected. So if so this is known as food poisoning. So whenever we eat this contaminated food, which are exposed to moisture, which are exposed to air for longer period of time, and these they will be getting bacterial, they will be affected by bacteria. So whenever we are taking this food, we might be getting uh, we might be getting sickness, which is known as food poisoning. So if it is mild food poisoning, you will be just having stomach upset and diarrhea. But if it is severe case, that time you will be also having vomiting, diarrhea, and lots of water will be released from your body. So in order to prevent food poisoning, we should regularly cook our food properly, as well as cover our food and keep the food in areas where the growth of microorganism is prevented. Now some of the food preserving techniques. So we will see, first one is sun drying. So any foods which we have, we should make sure that we keep the food dried in the sun, especially your raw vegetables and fruits. If you are bringing them from market, after washing it, keep it in the sun for sometimes, because the sun is a natural disinfectant. So it will kill all the germs. If your food if your fruits and vegetables, it has some germs, it is being destroyed by the sun. Next one is refrigerator and deep fridge. So the temperature of refrigerator is 5 degrees Celsius. So during that time your food will not be spoiled, and that of freezer is minus 17 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, microorganisms present in your food, they will get killed. And after that, once you take out the food from this freezer, you can after warming it, you can again enjoy it. Pasteurizing means heating of milk at 70 to 72 degrees Celsius and for 15 seconds, and again cooling it for cooling it at 10 degrees Celsius. So the milk which you get, the Amul milks and all which you get from the shop, those are your pasteurized milk. So pasteurizing is the process. With the help of this process, disease causing bacteria are destroyed. Now sugaring is also used for now next one is sugaring, used for preserving fruits like apple, apricots, plums and all. So in this case, your sugar syrup is added to this substance, which will dehydrate the sugar, and which will prevent the growth of microbes. Salting is also somewhat like same, but instead of sugar, salt is added, so it will also help in killing the microorganism, as the reason will be it will dehydrate the substance. So salt can also be used to preserve fish, meats and all. Now chemical preservation. Now some of the chemicals are also added in food in order to preserve it, like sodium benzoate, scorbic acid, sodium metabisulfate and citric acid. These are some of the substances which are added to prevent uh, the growth of microorganisms in food. Now next is disease caused by microorganism. So a microorganism can also cause some of the disease, like it's given to you: anthrax, foot and mouth disease, fowl pox, bird flu and distemper. These are some of the disease caused by microorganisms to plants as well as animals. Now many plants and animals might be suffering from these diseases, like because of usually if plants are suffering from these diseases, the crops will not grow properly, and usually some of the plants are being affected by fungi, bacteria and viruses. So it will result in some of the abnormal growth of plants, and it will be having some of the diseases like this, as you can see in the diagram. So citric canker. So these are some of the diseases which we see in plants. So citric canker is a disease caused by bacterium Leishmaniasis that will appear in leaves and fruit. So here are some of the disease caused by virus and bacteria on plants. So we need to make sure that those plants are not affected by this virus. So with this we end the chapter. So later on I'll be sending you some of the question regarding this chapter. Thank you.